Hello and welcome to the bonus episode of the Main Protagonist podcast, where we have zero planning, but one singular goal.
The boozes episode. I can't combine bonus and booze. Whatever. Bonus booze. We drink! As I will promptly illustrate. Yeah, I wanted to illustrate by holding it to the microphone.
Well, sorry, I caused an explosion. And I think
I'm just slapping a ball to the glass.
Yes,
to
once again, it is me, Casper, the main protagonist, and also Petri,
the drunkard friend.
the also protagonist, because this is the bonus episode. That didn't.
We're evenly protagonistic.
Yes, absolutely, and we are joined today by QB, who went unaddressed in the previous episode,
We'll keep it that way.
and also
My cat.
a secondary cat.
My actual cat. I have released him from his eternal prison.
Cheers.
So maybe he'll spite us. But first,
Sure, to the whole bottle. Why not?
what are we drinking?
I just got a regular Grolsch double.
Some double beer. And,
Double beer, yes.
I got some old Jenever. Or in actual alcohol speak, it tastes like some sort of whiskey, but it has more taste. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm keeping it that way. I swear I haven't drunk yet.
Liquor opinions.
Tasty. And we have some donuts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They can't quite see it, but we have them.
Yes. I had my lunch by now, but touchy subject is still cancelled.
Oh yes, definitely.
It has been hit by cancel culture.
We'll do it next time or whenever. Touchy subjects are bound to run out anyway, so...
Yeah.
But we're here to criticize the god-awful taste in anime.
Yes, because in a previous episode we had the idea of running through each other's any list, and we discovered that it was so much fun dissecting Petri's list that we didn't actually get to mine. Or we could have, but then the episode would have been 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, I think that was one of our longest episodes. I believe that one was already 2.5 hours, almost 3. So let's not try and reach for that one. So we're doing your list separate, because you have quite a bit more on your list, I believe.
I do think so, yes. At least certainly in terms of actual people.
Yeah, some of them are very self-explanatory, but you still want to have a story to tell about them, I'm sure. So I'll just start with anime. I'll say what anime you can defend yourself, and I'll tell you why you're stupid for having that opinion.
Okay, that sounds like a plan, yes.
Only downside for some of them, I can't really criticize. I mean, I can superficially criticize.
I can criticize, but my heart wouldn't be in it.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
so,
I had some of those as well last time around.
First is Higurashi.
What can I say? Higurashi is really one of the most prominent anime that I've ever seen. It is one of the longer shows that I'm actually really fond of. Usually I'm more of a short anime guy, like one season. But Higurashi I have thoroughly explored. I've rewatched it so many times because it's such a story that's so dear to me. Another time travel one.
And I'm pretty sure you know, or I know why you'd like it so much. Because I have the same fondness, not on the same level for this particular show, but because it's very contrasty in, contrast to other shows around that time and probably shows you've watched. And I'm coming off from the point here that you're probably watched this fairly early on.
Not exactly, actually.
Not fairly early?
No, not even actually. I think the entire series was kind of done. I didn't start watching it until the...
No, I meant anime in general.
No.
And you didn't even watch it early in your anime generally?
No, I had to watch it because the Manga Gamer was doing the remakes of the visual novels, and I worked for Lion Horror, which was probably around 2011. So I was like, well, fuck, if I gotta review this, I better know what the hell I'm talking about. So I watched the series.
Yes.
And it hit me really hard. I do get your point. It was a really hard contrast against the moe culture of the mid-2000s.
Yeah, and just the general tone, because there was really nothing like it. I mean, Corpse Party would be the closest thing I'd imagine, and that's a little bit later.
Yeah, Corpse Party is a good example as well. I've read the manga for that.
Yeah, I'm still planning on playing the game, but I'm very good at planning and never good at playing, so getting on with that. What in Higurashi is what you like so much?
What I like in Higurashi the most is how much time it gets to really develop the characters. Initially, when you start watching with the expectations that, it looks very mid-2000s Moe, it really takes its time to really delve into these characters, who they are and how they came to be who they are.
Yeah.
And you get so many opportunities to explore that story from all these different angles and viewpoints, as it's a time loop story, just like Tatami Galaxy that we addressed in the main episode today. That really appeals to me, getting to see all these different ways, different views on the same characters, and that really begins to build a hole for you in the understanding of who they are and why you like them.
And just to stoke the fire, because I have to, I'll pinch up my glasses to the bridge of my nose. I wouldn't ask for your glasses just yet, but not drunk enough yet. Push it up glasses. But what about the animation? Studio Dean is horrible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's certainly true. I think this is actually one of the animated in the score. I just deliberately put down a blank score instead of the usual mathematical balance that any list uses.
I just want to add there that with Higurashi Go releasing, that I just generally appreciate the old one more.
Yeah, we've had a few discussions about that the rough animation of Studio Dean actually really
helped
fit it well.
Because the manicness pours through better. And with the Moe-ass freaking animation style, what was it, Citrus Feel, one of those studios, with the new one, it just, even when they're mad, it kind of still looks Moe. So it doesn't feel really, it doesn't really feel degenerate.
It's telling that we in the main episode addressed that Higurashi is crossing over with Clannad.
Ah, yeah.
That is Moe as satire combined with Moe as actual Moe.
Well, next on would be Elfen Lied.
Yep.
Oh, I got to criticize a lot about this one because, let's be honest, that's shit.
This is very much my guilty pleasure pick, but I have seen Elfen Lied probably 7 or 8 times, and I could probably go home and just fire up again right away. This is actually one of the first anime I ever bought. I don't know if I ever told that on the podcast.
Yes. To be fair,
little fly.
To be fair, that's almost the same for me. I haven't rewatched it that many times, but I've watched it about 3 times by now.
As far as shows go that just revel in ultra-violence, Elfen Lied actually does some interesting things with its story. Its characters are really cool, and I think a lot of the drama is built up sufficiently, so it's not just melodrama for the sake of it.
No. It's definitely the phase where the edge factor started to creep in. Just the shock porn, let's just say.
Yes, but this still handled it at least decently.
Yeah. It's... I think it's just decent because it's the progenitor to it.
And the violence, when it happens, is really well done. I really fucking love the brutality of it.
Yeah, but when you remember it, it's pretty much just a love story about 2 cousins who really want to fuck each other but don't want to tell each other. Kind of get creepy.
The anime doesn't really go there very much. It does from the perspective of the niece, but Kota himself doesn't really reciprocate that very directly.
No.
It's mostly just about just the relationship between Kota and New.
Yeah, just general. The storytelling isn't particularly great, I think.
I like the tension of it.
Yeah.
Because you have this constant looming knowledge that New could be triggered at any moment to go back into Lucy, and you don't know what she will do and to whom she will do it.
Yeah, the problem I have with most of the storytelling is all of the vector users, whatever their name was, they had a name, Dinocleus, something along those lines.
Oh, fuck, man. Am I actually forgetting it now? I don't remember, actually. It is something along those lines.
Yeah, Dinocleus, something along those lines.
Diclonius,
Diclonius.
Diclonius, yeah. I got hooked into the second letter.
Yeah. No, Diclonians, they are very underdeveloped, but that's also kind of part of who they are, because they are usually kind of separated from everything else.
I remember from the manga, there's this fantastic scene where it's like the biggest revelation, and the new character, just a giant plot revelation, and like second. Yeah, I don't fucking care, slap.
Yeah, and definitely well animated by Studio Arms. Studio Arms just does what it does.
Did what it did.
Did what it did, yes. They don't really have a dip in quality, I think. It's usually pretty sturdy.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't really fault them for anything animation-wise.
Elfleet also, gotta admit, that is one of the strongest first episode hooks ever. The escape from the laboratory is such a fucking good scene. Just the
dumbass the third-party characters are sometimes a bit annoying. I have coffee!
Yes. Everybody will watch like episode 1 was completely hooked on it.
Just the violence alone.
Yeah. A friend of mine who generally hates anime has 2 anime. One is Elfleet, the other is Guyver.
I just like ultra violence. That's my character.
Everybody who saw that was hooked in, and I definitely was one of them.
I kind of glossed over one point with Higurashi. I just realized. Also donuts.
Donuts!
Yeah, let me help you with that. Yeah, Higurashi, I forgot to hook on one point. The fucking English voice acting, my dude.
My dude!
Dude.
You wanna know something?
What?
I was really hard in an English phase during when I watched Higurashi.
Of course you were.
So I watched it in English.
Yeah, I have watched, I think I saw 3 episodes, and then I just kind of gave up. I couldn't take it seriously. I mean...
Understandably.
I think I could make a more convincing Rika than the voice actors who did Rika. It was kind of bad. And how is the donut tasting?
Shit, son, you didn't lie.
I did not lie.
That's tasty as donuts. These aren't from Dunkin', are they?
No, Dutz. And then we move on to one I literally can't fault anyone for liking. Azumanga. You can. There's literally nothing to say there. It's just it's pretty much the perfect comedy anime.
Yes, literally. When I first watched Azumanga, it had me laughing in the first seconds. Because you get this scene of Chio walking to the school and passing all these students who are much taller than her, and the footstep noises for it. Bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah.
The little bloopy noises. Fucked me up right away.
Yep.
And the entire show is like that. It's
I can't really fault anything about it. I mean, even years after watching, I'm still referencing its humor, so... There's not a lot to say there.
I'm trying not to chew into the fucking microphone like a fucking barbarian.
Ah!
Yeah, no, I knew you would get that. I also have the manga, and that's another one of my... I think the manga is actually also on my favorites list.
Well, consider it discussed. Yeah, here's one I hate. Maho Shoujo Lyrical Nanaha. Defend yourself, please.
I'm eating my donut.
I don't care. I want to stab you to death.
I'm trying to deep throat this donut, man.
Oh my.
Yeah, Lyrical Nano is one that we watched together. We watched the first season. And you were just so hard done. And I was like, I'm gonna get this a chance.
I was miserable watching that.
And I think Ace really built off of the framework that the first season laid out.
I want to remind you that the entire first season is a framework. As in, literally every character has the same framework, just with an extra fucking dingle of hair somewhere.
Yeah, the character design in the first season was...
shite. Don't spin around it. Shite.
It was uniform.
Yes. If school uniforms were people, Lyrical Nana would be the school uniform.
But yeah, season 2 builds off of that, and it does it really well. It has a new story, which takes the characters in a very unexpected new direction. It has a very strong core character in Hayate Yagami, a disabled girl who accidentally finds a magical tome, and she summons 4 knights into the world who begin helping her. And that leads into a very dramatic story that I grew to be really fond of, which had some really strong characters and also fixed a lot of the problems with the character design.
Every time I hear someone talking about it, I hear just the ridiculous parts, so I can't take it seriously anymore, or rather really don't want to watch the rest of it. Like the beautiful part where two lesbians get a child.
That's in Strikers.
Yeah, but still, that's still lyrical Nanoha. That's my point. Every time I hear something about Nanoha, I'm just like, this is ridiculous, man. I watch anime, but this is ridiculous. Yeah, the first season really didn't gel well with me. On to,
Did you ever go back for more?
Oh, fuck no. I couldn't stand the first one. Literally from episode 1, I'm like, yeah, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen.
I remember how spitefully you informed me when you had acquired the new movie for me.
Yes.
The first of the new movie trilogy.
Just like I'm spiteful as fuck with Panzer Girls. Because I fucking hate the titles of them. Oh yeah, the finale, part 1.
What do you want, man? It's a long finale.
If it's called the finale, make it a finale.
It's a multi-chapter finale.
Well, go stab yourself.
Well, if you talk about the next bit for a while, explain your relation to it, then I'll retort after I've washed my hands of donut goo.
Sure. Well, the next one would be Chobits, which I don't have a strong opinion about either way or the other. I've seen it, but the problem is, I think my issue with Chobits is that I've watched it relatively late. It's not one of the first anime I've watched, so usually people watch it very early on and then they enjoy it a lot more. But just the inadequacy of some of the characters in that show really make it annoying to watch from a storytelling perspective.
Alright, so everything you said is wrong.
Okay, why so? How is the main character not an enormous idiot?
Is that really important? He's just a very caring dude who moves to the city to attend a cram school because he fell short of making it into university. There's a lot of characters in anime to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the role he fills is just being a fucking retard.
Let's be honest, I wouldn't make it into a university either. Look at me.
Oh, you could get it. Academically, you could. Just socially, you wouldn't. You would be eaten up.
Emotionally, I wouldn't.
Oh, that too.
If I go back to school, oh no.
I'm still in school, man.
Chobits I really enjoyed. I think it's a very beautiful show.
It's very clamp.
Very clamp. But
which is a blessing and a fucking curse, by the way.
I am really fond of its sci-fi mystique. It really takes the sci-fi concepts it has, which is that in the future, instead of smartphones, you have smart androids that are called Chobits, which are basically everything, technology, computers, smartphones, email, everything wrapped into a little robot helper.
Little robot helper?
Yeah. She is small, but also the extra small versions.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's just an android person, and it explores how a world like that would be shaped in terms of love, as people who are increasingly drawn to these human-like robots begin to figure out that there's a special socket that's compatible with their USB.
Yeah, the biggest issue I have is how Chobits are supposed to be so ubiquitous, yet there is fairly little sign of them being anywhere else besides the main characters.
Oh no, man, there's fucking...
In the show, you don't see that much.
Yeah, man, everywhere they go, and like every street scene, people are walking in pairs of two. They always have Chobits with them.
Yeah, but they don't... a lot of them are couples too. Hey, kitty, don't. That's my water. You don't get to steal my water.
Have my water anytime.
Don't offer my cat your water. Oh, meow. Come here.
But yeah, I really like how it tells these stories of all the different people and how the existence of Chobits has affected them. And also the main story of...
Show yourself to the camera instead of your ass. And don't
He's
grab my
stuck in
cable.
your wires.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomo!
Tomo!
Tomo! And also just the relationship between Hideki and Chi, how that develops, and the mystery around who she is and why she is such a different model.
Yeah. Let's...
I kept calling them Chobits, by the way. They're not called Chobits.
No,
it's Persicoms.
I was about to say I didn't think so, but I
No,
wouldn't.
I just kind of went with the title in my mind and I didn't realize I was saying it wrong. I'm under pressure here, man. I'm being interrogated.
And
I'm cracking.
well, shit, man. I want to kind of use the Japanese title, but I honestly don't know if you would know which anime I'm talking about. Horus, the Prince of the Sun.
Yes, Horus, Prince of the Sun, also known as the Little Norse Prince.
Also known as Taiyo no Oji Horus no Daiboken.
No, I wouldn't have recognized that, but I got the same picture open, so I could have acted smart. I could have...
You could have acted like you're smart.
Damn.
Failed again.
Failed again.
Foiled.
Foiled by my own stupidity. No, that's a movie we watched together, and you were kind of muted on it, probably because a lot of the movies around that time were very similar.
Yeah, it did something extra, I agree with that. It's better than the usual riff-raff we watched around that time. Maybe it's a bit
Phantom Ghost Ship.
Oh god. Maybe it's a bit unfair to say it's riff-raff, because it still went a lot of work into it, but it was really in its infancy by that point. And Horus did something pretty... different by that time.
Yeah,
there was more development.
It was a very daring story. I believe this was actually made by Isao Takahata.
Well, that explains a lot, actually.
I'm actually going to click that open. But yeah, it's a story of a young boy whose father is killed, and he receives a premonition that he is destined to return to an overseas place that has been taken over by an evil sorcerer, and he has to liberate these people. And once he gets there, all kinds of different developments happen, including some that are surprisingly political, as he tries to kind of integrate into the village, and people are catching on that he's a big deal, but some of the existing big deals aren't very pleased with him.
Bye, Tomo.
It's also just a visually very amazing movie. Yeah, it was actually directed by Isao Takahata.
Yes. That explains actually a lot about storytelling.
Scene design by Hayao Miyazaki.
Ah, dear Christ.
Yeah.
No airplanes, please, no airplanes.
It kind of looks wonky in still frames, but when you see it in action, a lot of the scenes are just very gorgeous. Like when they first break the dam and all the fish return to the valley. That's such a good scene with swelling music.
Yeah, one we really don't have to talk about because we're pretty much aligned entirely in opinion is Rojin Z.
Rojin Z. Oh man.
It's Z! Don't you see me, motherfucker?
This is
artificial conflict.
This is...
That's the most conflict I can muster up for Rojin.
Yes, this is very improvised rage against each other.
Yeah.
Oh man, that movie was so great. We literally fucking laughed all the way. I was in fucking pain from how much we laughed. And
yes, that movie was freaking genius. I still don't get... Because I believe the score ain't actually that high. I was about to say the average score is only 68.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. I think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I like the joke in the beginning, where it says that the calligraphy was done by what's his name?
Otomo.
Otomo, yeah, that was done by Otomo, but the entire fucking movie is his child. I just like the fucking gall of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cyberpunk movie.
It definitely is, and I
appreciate that it kind of digs into like the cyberpunk themes, the morality, but then it's also just a very fun movie. It's not like cyberpunk grim.
No, it takes a nice turn for comedy.
Comedy.
Most time, fucking.
Yeah, even just the small things like the friend group with the guy that's constantly trying to get laid.
Yes, just little. I mean, that's still a very a character trope that gets used a lot. Maybe it's a little bit different, but the very the guy that always nudges.
Nudges, help me.
Yeah, the push-up guy. That just keeps on nudging the main character or someone else for a particular thing. So yeah, I still very much love Rojin Z. See, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most. Once we're done with our little movie journey, Rojin Z, whatever you want, is probably one of the first things we're gonna be revisiting.
Yes, definitely. which leads to Re-Cutie Honey, which, I can't say anything about. I haven't watched anything of it besides maybe some openings.
Cutie Honey is one of the longest running Magical Girl series, starting in 1963, I believe. And one of the cool things is that a lot of different studios have been able to adapt it to different time time periods.
Time periods, yes. We adapted it for GST 3+3.
And Re-Cutie Honey is Gynex's attempt at the series.
Big course-shaped explosions and such.
Absolutely, it's completely fucking bonkers.
Love it.
It's also actually directed by Hideaki Anno.
Okay.
So it's really the top tier of what Gynax was producing around the time, put into an established series, and it really works wonderfully for a more cartoon. Because what we got before that was a shoujo take in 1997, and before that we got like a edgy 90s cyberpunk take on it.
Okay.
So this was a very interesting return to shonen, hard shonen.
Fair enough. Then we move on to Simone.
My gayest anime on this list, probably.
Yeah, it'll moan all right. I've literally watched, I think, 3 minutes of the show, and I'm like, nah, bruh. this shit ain't doing it for me. It's literally chicks kissing an orb.
Oh man, that's like 90% of your Pornhub search history, I take it.
I'm trying to think how that would even... what? I'm trying to visualize, but... I can't find anything, man. Yeah, no, it's...
You haven't seen much of Simone, then?
No, at all. I know it's robots and they need to be lesbians. Well, they can only be lesbians. There are only females in this world, I believe.
Yeah, it's a very... everybody in the world is born female, and it chronicles a war story between different nations. With the main one it focuses on is a theocracy that worships all technology.
The Brotherhood of Steel, okay.
And they are the only ones that get that technology.
Brotherhood of Steel. Okay.
And each country has its own way of dealing with the problem that everybody is born female, and this country also has the best solution in that you can just magic yourself the other gender, while everybody else gets painful surgeries and stuff.
Oh my god.
Or just hormones stamped into them at birth. So this country is very fortunate and prosperous, so its neighbors launch war against it, and it follows the exploits of a unit of soldiers that control the ancient technology, which only works while they're still non-binary.
Okay.
And it's a very LGBT-directed anime, but it does so while still being a very cool sci-fi story made by Studio Dean.
Horrible.
But to no graphical.
I was about to say,
downsides.
normally you can spot it, but this time, from the little image I have, I couldn't say it was Dean.
It is heavy on the sci-fi and CGI, I meant. It is heavy on CGI, so maybe that balances it out a bit.
Yeah.
It also has one of the most kick-ass soundtracks that I've listened to in a while.
Okay.
I know that I'm not much of... I know that you don't take my music taste very...
I'll listen to it and probably hate it. Because I'm pretty sure I'm never going to watch this anime.
It has some sick-ass orchestra, yo.
Fair enough. On to the next anime, totally not skipping one. Ginga Descends to Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yes, Girls in Panzer.
No!
Oh, man, what is there to say about Girls in Panzer?
No. I deny Girls in Panzer.
Okay, we've already had an hour-long discussion on Girls in Panzer. I think my viewpoints are very clear.
Yes. Fuck off.
Petri has been totally debunked.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ginga then said, sorry, Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yes, which has been misspelled in its own title screens as Legend of the Galactic Island.
That's almost as bad as Chrono Crusade. He's trying to think.
Yeah, what's wrong with Chrono Crusade?
They spelled it CHRNO. Chrono.
No.
Because they copyrighted Chrono, but not Chrono Crusade. So every time it's, if you look at the anime, it says Chrono Crusade, and then you look at the trademarks, Chrono Crusade.
Well, you can also just be completely inept.
Yes! I love it. Yeah, Galactic Heroes. If you want to be a politician...
I don't think that needs to be defended. It's like one of the most respected sci-fi series in anime history. And I pretty much mirror what everybody else has praised about it. It's a long series, very political, interesting characters, completely unfollowable by how many characters it begins to accrue, and it has the emotional punch to make that all work.
Okay.
Really good series.
Then we move on to Toradora.
Yeah, yes, I know you hate this, so lay it on me. Tell me what's wrong with Toradora.
Ah, fuck you. It's made by the JC stuff. That's the biggest issue it has. In my eye.
Nice try.
I can't critique Toradora. You know this damn well.
No, I totally agree. Toradora is just one of the best romance anime. I've kind of put it off out of spite because it kept being recommended to me and I'm a childish cunt.
And then I just came up at Christmas like, bitch, we watching.
We watching. Oh, and boy did we watch.
Yes.
I've actually watched it in between because we watched it for that one time and then we watched it in a different Christmas year. It's always Christmas in the year.
But Christmas.
But I actually watched it between that, so I've watched it 3 times in a very short span because it's such
Motherfucker, I've watched it 3 times in the span of 3 days back then. I watched it with Rolf, with Robin, and with you. I was so dumb.
I cannot match this man in sheer love for the series. I try, but he has me outloved.
Somebody has to.
No.
So, yeah, there's not much to say about that one.
No, if you want to watch a romance anime, you'd be crazy to skip Toradora.
Yes.
Don't skip it, even out of spite.
Ah, the church has joined us.
Ah, Christianity. How I've missed you.
Did you?
I specifically decided not to come on a Sunday to try and avoid this. I'm tanking parking costs right now, man. You wouldn't believe.
Yeah, no, I've seen some bad reviews of Toradora, but they themselves are bad reviews because they're just harping on it for being good, pretty much.
I don't know what I would hook into if I wanted to criticize Toradora. I mean, there's a few instanced moments that I think are worth critiquing.
I hate when people look at this like the characters are all grown up and can approach every situation perfectly. Yes, they're going to be crass. They're 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. They're going to make bad decisions. That's just part of the issue.
Yeah, good points. Yeah,
and
totally agree.
I really like how Toradora balances that out in a good way, that it doesn't annoy me. Because I'm going to go off target here entirely.
By all means.
Karate Kid, the movie out of 2010 that had the son of Will Smith in it, Jaden Smith.
Yeah, the remake.
Yes, and he was an annoying fucking ass brat in that movie. But he was an annoying ass fucking brat. That's the entire point of it. So he acted it perfectly, but he was still annoying to me. Because he acted perfectly for what he was supposed to be. Toradora still portrays the issues of being young and crass and making bad decisions, but not in a way that it would come on as annoying. Which I find...
No, I didn't find the characters annoying.
No, not at all, and that's the point. That's a certain skill. To be able to tell a story about characters making dumb choices, but not making it annoying to the one who's watching it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen shows that fall on the wrong side of that track.
Yes, I really... Origairu, I'm not going to say the entire title. It's
I know what you mean.
That one is so annoying to me, because every character is just a bothersome someone. They bother me. I mean, everyone has some character traits that are defining and not perfect. That's obvious. Nobody can be perfect. But Origairu takes it to a point where that one flaw in that character is presented as their entire character.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to get annoyed by that character.
Kind of like it's kind of sounds like you're describing the inverse of what I tried to make a point out of in Higurashi. Higurashi presents itself as very simplistic on the front, and then you explore the depth of those characters, and it does so very quickly, so you don't get lured into the sense that this is shallow.
Exactly.
And this sounds like a smart show, but then you get into it and it's just very simplistic.
Yeah, and very annoying characters. Like Ryuji from Toradora, he has a shortfall in that he is an absolute clean freak. He cannot stand anything that's dirty.
Yeah,
but that's not an annoying point, that's more of an endearing point.
Yeah.
And
it's not like you watch him throughout the, 26 episodes, I believe?
Yeah,
it's not like 25. You watch him literally every episode cleaning something.
No, and that's what I like. Everyone has shortcomings and making decisions that harm them maybe in the long term, but it's not the main focal point. And you can watch around it without being annoyed by it.
Yeah, I think it really builds up well. These characters, it builds them up really well so that when these character traits begin to get super relevant in the later part of the series, you are invested in those character traits.
Yes. But before we talk another hour about Toradora...
Hello, this is a Toradora special.
This is the Patrick takes the lead and just fucking runs with it. Jinryu wa suitai shimashita.
Humanity has declined.
Oh, and has it. Yeah, I really can't fault you for that one either. I really like it.
No, same. It's a very out there show, both in terms of what its story is about and also its visuals. I believe you also really like the visuals, right?
Yes, I love the visuals, I love the opening and ending, I love the soundtrack.
Ba-da-ba-ba. I'm not gonna do the whole song, I'm gonna...
I shouldn't be doing the dance, I already dislocated my shoulder once doing that. Not doing that again.
We didn't record that one time that I did Nyanpasu and you dislocated your fucking shoulder, did we?
Why do I dislocate my shoulder so much?
I'm not sure if we recorded that, but that was very sad.
Yes, I don't think we did, but yes.
Yeah, that's a story that's really interesting and eccentric, but not to the point of just being random.
Yeah, it's more the... What's it good? The Mononoke would be... so random, it's just kinda you're watching with a glazed over stare.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're just watching that and you're like, I think that I know what's kinda happening, but humanity that has declined has an actual line of reason to follow.
Yeah, the storylines are very... the basic storylines are very easy to get your head around, but then everything that happens in them really throws you for a loop.
Yeah, I really like how nothing is perfect in the show, but it's not the usual. It's not just Moe style. It has its own style. It has its own music. Everything is its own thing. It's not It's not particularly very good at any set thing, but everything within its show has its own style, which makes it stand out. And I really, really like that.
I also appreciate that it's like a pleasant post-apocalypse story.
Yes!
Because the very basic premise of it is that, well, just through sheer happenstance, humanity has begun to decline. Organization has become nearly impossible to keep going. Technology has been going backwards. And now just the remnants of humanity are living out their final days.
Yep.
The final few generations, with increasingly little in terms of infrastructure and organization. And in their stead, there's a new magical race, and it follows the story of a mediator who kind of acts as a between to help these fairies live together with the remnants of humanity without them getting into fights and trouble and all that.
Yeah, I just like how he is forced to be a mediator.
Ah, yes.
Literally the first episode, yeah, I'm just a happy girl, you're going to be a mediator, bitch. Okay. I guess I can do that. No questions asked, just rolls with it. Yeah, no, there's...
I also think you would like the main character just in general, because she is such a fucking... She is a bitch, let's be honest.
Yes, but she rolls with everything. She just rolls with the situation and just is a bitch in her off time.
She is very snarky and sarcastic.
Yeah.
But still gets roped into everything against her will.
Yes. Yeah, I really like her as a character. But moving on, figure 17. Yeah, I can't really criticize you on that. As in, I haven't really watched it, and...
Yeah, when we were walking back from the store with bread.
Bread!
Tasty bread and donuts.
But that's also tasty bread.
True. I remarked that figure 17 is probably my Anohana. It's a sci-fi story about a little girl who one night notices a spaceship crashing.
Yeah.
And she goes to help out, figure out what's happening there.
Okay, I'm gonna cut in there. Up until that point, that really sounds like Onagai Teacher.
I haven't watched Please Teacher.
Yeah, you don't want to. we tried a solid 3 episodes here, and all 4 of us were like, no.
You say that. I immediately recognized the cover, and then I recognized that I skipped on it hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but she goes to where this spaceship crashed, and she finds out that a bunch of monsters have been released, and she accidentally touches a device that creates a clone of her, and this clone is a completely sentient person, and they begin to live together, the clone and the girl, and they kind of both fight the aliens, but also just help each other help this girl that's very anxious and depressed girl overcome her mental hurdles and find a place for herself socially.
Okay.
It's really good character exploration and just a really cool sci-fi sci-fi series.
It's somewhere in my list of wanting to watch.
And I drove you crazy by asking you to find the opening song for me because it has one of the best opening songs in anime for me.
Was
The Boy?
Yeah, that was
by the Alfie.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the Alfie, right? Yeah, that was... I want to remind you that I found it on a Thai subforum somewhere in page 8.
Nice.
I can't read Thai, by the way.
I'd be surprised if you could.
The next show, Megumi Hayashibara, the movie, the show.
Movie, the show?
Yes.
Make a choice there, man.
How about you make a fucking choice, bitch? I'm pointing at Peter Jackson, King Kong, the official game of the movie. How about that make a fucking choice?
Fair. No, I put Slayers next on the list, which is the second season of Slayers. Slayers is like one of the coolest shonen fantasy series in anime.
It has Megumi Hayashibara.
It has Megumi Hayashibara, which immediately makes it top tier. I watched it in English, so I didn't get shit.
You motherfucker! Get ready for threats!
I had to watch some of it in Japanese because some of the prequel movies aren't translated.
Correct.
But it's a really fun fantasy series, lighthearted, comedic, but also has its
serious moments,
intenser storylines.
I've watched, what was it, 4 episodes of the first series. Not dropped it, it's just postponed. But I really like just the fucking intense animations for when she attacks. It's all lighthearted, and then they're like, yo, might wanna fucking finish this monster? Looks at the clock. Ah, right! Fucking super extravagant animation blows up the dragon. Aight. This is nice.
I do remember that we were kind of fucked over because we were watching this series. And one of the most common things, like almost every minor problem gets a fireball thrown at it.
Yes.
And we were like, oh, we're gonna go to the store, we're gonna buy some fireball, like the drink, which is... Yeah. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen... Is that the episode where the shopkeeper goes nuts?
No, just okay. We literally went to the supermarket.
Oh, yes.
Like a store next to the supermarket, I should specify. We got a bottle of fireball, which is a cinnamon shots drink. Kind of spicy. We're like, oh man, every time they're gonna throw a fireball, we're gonna drink a fireball. They never again used fireball because we were some time in, and at that point, they'd learned new magic, which was stronger, and never used fireballs again.
Fair.
One thing that makes Slayers Next a little bit nicer than the original season, both its story is a lot cooler. It introduces one of the most fantastically voiced characters, and it
is that the purple hair chick?
No, she is in the prequels.
Okay.
No, and it's a little bit more stable. In the first season, you have a few questionable animation moments, and in Slayer's Next it's a lot stronger and more coherent. They stopped switching voice actors all the bloody time. That also helps.
Yeah.
The first season you have this character, Zelgadis, who's the giant rock dude, and in the first season he's like, I'm gonna attack you.
The English voice acting of the first season particularly is pure gold. As in, it's obviously done by dudes who don't even know what they're doing.
He fucking whispers his threats. That's...
But almost everyone has bad voice directing. I mean, Lena is fine.
Yeah.
But most others, I mean... what's the main dude's name?
Main dude? Gory Gabriev.
His English voice actor, he's just having fun.
He's having fucking fun.
He obviously knows he's flubbing half the lines he's saying, and he don't care. Just roll with it, my dude. I love it.
What fucks me up about the dub, though, Lisa Ortiz is in that.
Mm-hmm.
And she is also the very next year in the Irresponsible Captain Tyler as three characters. So every time you hear her talk, as any of these three characters, like, oh god, getting Lena vibes.
Okay, I'm going to speed up a little bit because we're just done with anime and we still have manga and characters to go. Furamapuru Pura. Is that the one I read?
I don't know if you read it. It's manga by Kokyo Shinsha, the writer behind I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Okay.
It's a high school comedy.
No, you recommended it to me.
Yeah, it's a high school comedy anime about a very outgoing girl who befriends a girl who's mute, completely mute, and she only communicates through signs, but they are all numbered signs, 1 through 10.
I'm getting some vibes here from a show I don't like.
Elaborate.
You know exactly what... No, well, I said show, I meant manga. I'm getting some Komi fucking vibes from this shit.
No, this is really fun, but she only communicates through numbered signs, and this girl this extrovert is the only person who can kind of interpret what the numbers mean.
Why does she not, just learn sign language, just asking?
Just complete obtuseness.
Okay.
Which is something I vibe with.
It is true! You are the most obtuse motherfucker I know. Oh no, the train doesn't ride from this middle station and I have to take a bus in fucking middle of August and nobody's in there. No, that's too scary. I'm turning back, motherfucker.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. There goes my weekend. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you recommended it to me, but as usual, I haven't made time for it.
I understand.
I'm very good at not making time for stuff.
I understand. It's not an N-hentai, so I get why you haven't gotten to it yet.
Fair enough. I'm not even going to argue.
Nice.
I own it.
Let's go.
Soul Eater. Yeah, well, it's Soul Eater. Can you really argue?
It's Soul Eater. The anime is fucking kick-ass, and the manga fixes the few flaws of the TV series.
Yeah, I'm just going to add, if it were me, if you have the same taste in the manga as me, as soon as you would read Fire Force would be here instead of Soul Eater, because in my eyes, Fire Force is a straight upgrade. It's just straight up.
I can imagine, because it's just the same author who's now got so much more experience.
Yes. I think he got so much more experience. As it is kind of sad, because I'm not shitting on My Hero Academia, but it has one of the options of the most diverse and creative powers.
Yeah, literally anything's possible.
Yes, but still, Fire Force feels so much more creative in how they use powers, and they are literally limited to only fire powers. But the way the writer uses them, which still makes sense, is amazing. I really like it.
Would you say that I should watch or read
Fire Force? Fire Soul Force Eater. I mean, I really like the soundtrack. It's the anime isn't done yet, but what it has put out is freaking gorgeous.
You always make fun that I struggle with Japanese, but I just struggle in general.
Same. I just struggle, my man. No, I think for general, if you want to go to the story, obviously read the manga. That's just easier. But if you really want to enjoy, because I really think the animation adds to it, the fight scenes are drop dead beautiful. There are not many anime or fighting animations where I'm like, this is real good, but this is some top tier shit.
Soul Eater already had some phenomenal fight choreography, so I could definitely see how the same artist with a few more years of experience.
Yeah, I really like how the choreography here is not just between Fire Force users. They're also just normies that fight here. You have this fucking nutcase who just chooses to fight the dude who can spit literal fire at him in his firefighting suit. Just like, come on, bitch, let's wrestle. I really like the characters.
That reminds me, I recently watched Mob Psycho 100, and there's this one guy in the... there's one psychic who just has a gun.
Oh, yes, that fits right in. It's just that I can't handle Mob Psycho. I really want to watch it, but I know I'll get indiscriminately angry at this fucking show.
Fair.
I can't handle manipulation plot points, and this dude is just getting manipulated.
But absolutely, definitely, it gets into that. But I get why you would still be bothered, even if it addresses it meaningfully.
Yeah. I know it will. Kind of the same. Brian had that with A Silent Voice. He couldn't handle it because of the bullying. He just couldn't like it.
I respect that, and also that he tried at least.
Yeah, and I can agree with that because it's still a really good redemption arc. But if you really don't like any of those points, then it's kind of hard to swallow.
This kind of makes me thinking if I ever watched something that I disagreed with on a fundamental level, or which really just bothered. Oh man, it's coming up. I see it on this list. Let's go.
Okay, well, next is Helk. I first want to say that I liked what I read, but it's very drawn out for what it is, in my opinion.
It's a long fantasy series.
Yeah, not per se that it's long, but many of the plot points feel a bit drawn out for no particular reason.
Oh, right. That is a bit difficult for me to say because I was so invested in it that
No, I got to the point. Oh, where was I?
Because I can imagine it. Because you first have this tournament storyline, which is really just a red herring for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
but it goes on quite a while, and it gets you in the mood for comedy.
I'm trying to think where I left off.
Where that could throw you off.
I think I left at the. Where was it?
Did you get to the island?
Yes, they were on the island together. I just like how much she doesn't want him around.
Yes.
I made a house for you. You fucking what now? I made a house for you. No sleep. I'll sleep outside. She's just flabbergasted.
Helk is a fantasy story about a guy, about demons. It's very this guy I like. It's about the land of demons, and recently a human hero came by and killed one of their lords. So they're throwing a competition
to find a new demon lord.
To find a new demon lord, and one of the competitors is the human hero.
Yes.
He just popped in and he insists on participating, and...
But I like... not oblivious. He's obviously not oblivious to everything. But they're like, we don't trust you. I know. That's fine.
He is very aware of how he is perceived, and he rolls with it really well.
Yes.
But it's about the central dynamic between this, as he gains in popularity and people are starting to warm up to him, there's this one demoness, Red Vemerio, who completely rejects him. And of course they get really stuck together as the rest of the plot takes off. And it transforms into quite a good fantasy story.
Yes.
I get why you may have been slightly burned out because the first part takes a while, but Yeah,
I'd imagine if I go any further than I was, I probably enjoy it. But once again, I'm very good at postponing shit. I haven't dropped it because I still want to finish it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Because, you said it was pretty near and dear to your heart, so I'm at least finishing it, even if I fucking hate it by the end of it.
Did you ever see that I have the manga actually at home?
Yes.
Yeah, I imported it from Japan, the complete collection. It's in Japanese, but wow, it's the crown piece of my collection. It's such a good series. And
I can imagine.
A really nice collection.
Yeah, I'm still happy with these puppies. The Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z manga box sets. Mm-hmm. Because I believe these are the last actual sets released. After this is just omnibuses. Mm-hmm. And these are the last uncensored versions.
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, and it's not just that part that's uncensored, but that's just the part that Robin keeps remembering. So that's how I remember it.
Bookmarked.
No, it's not bookmarked, you motherfucker. No, it's but yeah, I'm really still happy with these. Although I kind of coerced Robin into giving them to me.
What's it called in English? Ezelsoren? Donkey's ears? Does that actually apply?
I don't dunce.
Possibly. I think that's it. Yeah. I just imagine him finding that shot of Wilma.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Just nicking the page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of coerced him into giving me this because at the time he was out of work and we kind of still go everywhere and buy games. And by this point, I had spent like 300 euros for him, and he kind of felt dickish for that. So he gave me the box sets because I wanted them years ago, but my mother wouldn't let me buy them. So I'm really happy that I got them now, and he's never getting them back.
Next one brings us back to a familiar old team.
Yeah, we're not talking about... oh, wait. It's Cardcaptor Sakura. You love it. I read it. I hate it.
I really like Cardcaptor Sakura, especially the manga. The anime was a bit overbloated for me.
Yes.
Because it added a whole lot of filler, but the original manga really hits home with its emotional storylines and the character development for Sakura.
Yes, I agree that the stories about her are good, but I still think that the best storyline is the storyline with her grandpa.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that's the one everyone remembers.
Besides that, it kind of faded away in my memory. To be fair, I read it in one day, I believe. So I just kind of read to it pretty fast. But that is usually I can have general plot lines still remembered. That's how I know I didn't love Cardcaptor Sakura, because I can just remember the storyline with her granddad.
Understandable.
The rest is kind of
It is the storyline everyone remembers, but it has a lot of really good moments for me.
But as I said, I had made some arguments back then, but as I said, I don't remember much of it, so I can't harp on it because I don't remember. I should reread it, but that should be if we do an in-depth analysis of it.
Okay.
I still want to do that because
keeping that in mind.
Yeah, because I think because we are so different on the standpoint from this particular series, that would make a good argument. A good episode's worth of arguments.
I think we could really dig into that, yes. Also because I have a very strange relationship to Clamp.
Yeah, I just have, me particularly to Cardcaptor Sakura, because I watched that when I was young on national television. Mm-hmm. Because I was literally 6.
Medicine.
Medicine! Oh, God. Okay. Casper, you bent and spoke.
Don't bully me. We just talked about bullying. You can't do this to me.
Hey, it's Brian's problem, not mine.
Your cat fell asleep on the donuts, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Homo. His ears adjust, but he ain't caring.
But yeah, no, it was okay, but as I said, the only thing of significance I remember is the grandpa storyline. The rest is kind of just faded away.
As Megadaio is already broadly discussed.
Moving on to Yotsubato.
Yeah, same writer as Megadaio.
I was about to say, there's not really much to discuss. Same quality, just a smaller character set.
Literally every time a new volume comes out, I reread the entire series to catch up before I read the new volume.
Fair enough.
I can just endlessly enjoy it because it's just pure condensed
joy.
Happiness.
Family Man.
Yeah, I mentioned this before on the podcast, actually.
I can't say I recognize any of it.
It's a manhwa about a...
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
I was looking at the art style and I was like, I can't place this at all. Manhwa. Now it all makes sense.
It's about a father who ends up getting handicapped on the job. His face is mangled and he is soon laid off. He returns to the city, feeling ashamed, and he doesn't dare to confront his children and his family because, well, he's supposed to be the breadwinner and he just lost his job and he can't find anything else. And it just really follows the story of him trying to regain his footing, regain his feeling of self-worth.
Yes.
And that gets really fucking brutal.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think it would kind of personally resonate with you a lot.
Oh, yes. I'm not facially mangled, but I'm mangled in any other sense, so... And finding an absolute winner of a job is kind of hard with that in mind. just piggybacking on everyone complaining about having degrees and not getting paid. I've 2 goddamn university degrees. Get me some jobs, alright? And I'm going for my 3rd and 4th.
I am amazed when I read comments that we get based on these podcasts, because usually from people who know me.
Yes.
And they send me messages like, wait, Petri has... How many black belts does Petri have?
I have 3 black belts.
How much has he studied? What?
I don't come over as very smart as I'm a ranting asshat.
Everybody keeps getting surprised by it.
Hey, I think that's good, right?
Yeah, it's positive surprises.
The next one, I'm pretty sure I've read too. You recommended it to me. I'm pretty sure that's Hoshi no Ponko to Fuyareko. That's about they get in depth, right? With aliens or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's about a family who.
Oh yes, that fucked up one.
It's a very tricky story. It's one of those chapter 1 plot twist stories. Its front cover looks very cute and happy. And,
yes.
Oh, kids with.
It pulls on Madoka.
Yeah, absolutely. In a sense, yes. But the story gets very grim. It's about this family who is just completely devastated when.
They're a tofu shop, right?
Something they own a tofu shop. It's Reiko of the Tofu Shop, Bunko of the Stars, and Reiko of the Tofu Shop. Yeah. They run a failing business and they make a bad deal with a space creature to remedy that, which ends up costing them more than they expected. And it turns from there into a revenge story.
Yes. I was about to say, I have read this. I was looking at the image and I'm like, I remember this slowly.
Oh man, I read this and it stuck around in my mind for like fucking days. It was so...
I mean, you asked me to read it, so...
Yeah, it gets so over the top and
normally it's
so
like...
out there.
Yeah, normally it's like, hey, Casper, do you have anything I should read? And then like you just give me a random recommendation. This one, you literally contacted me. Can you read this?
Yes.
So I did. I still remember it. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, so much happens, and like every new twist is like, the fuck.
Yes.
But also just the
it's not
the frankness of some of the writing.
I was about to say it's not as bad as Mai, because Mai is just messed up. And
Handmade Mai. Daily Life of Mai-chan.
Yes,
that's the one.
That is messed up for other reasons.
Yeah, but that's the thing you send to people if you want to read some fucking ultra violence.
Or if you want to get rid of them.
Yeah, possibly.
Hey, I want to read some manga. Ah, sure, here, have some. Now never come back and ask me for more. Moving on.
Just never come back in general.
Imawabi no Dakini.
Yes. I forgot the English title for it. Gonna look that up real quick. This is one that I think you would enjoy, because this is... it's really just Iwamabi no Dakini.
Yes, there's no English title.
That explains why I couldn't remember an English title. It's a shonen action series about a guy who teams up with a shrine spirit because they make a trade with her, and that ends up killing his girlfriend, and he wishes to have her back. So she possesses her body, and they team up together to fight other spirits that are leaking into the world after she has been released.
Okay, this sounds like probably better Tayutama.
It is really cool. It's got good action, interesting, fun characters. Also plot twists that are just consequential.
Ah, good. I like those.
Hard consequences.
Good. Well, I'll keep that one really short. I'll just say that sounds pretty interesting, but my Tayutama experience probably leaves a bad impression on me. Because it sounds a bit like Tayutama, and Tayutama has just fucking AIDS. Tayutama, kiss on my deity.
Oh, that one, yeah.
I was about to say, let me help you. I really didn't like that one. That was just plain bad and based on a visual novel and made by Silverlink. It was made by Silverlink, and I'm like, oh, you poor bastards. You came from this and you're making non-Biori now. My god. Okay. Jigokuse Remina.
Yes. Death Star Remina is a Junji Ito story, sci-fi.
That explains everything.
About a scientist who discovers a new celestial body that's entering like our reality, and he reports this finding, and everybody's like, "Wow, amazing!" And he names it after his daughter, who's Remina, and she becomes a celebrity because of it. But after a while, they begin to realize that this thing that's entered reality is not behaving like a planetoid or even anything like it. Anything it comes by begins to disappear, and it begins heading towards Earth.
Okay.
That it's really a apocalypse story about the sheer fucking panic that erupts as people don't know what is going to happen or what they're up against, or if anybody exists who can clear it up for them.
Okay.
And
That's up till now, that's the most interesting one to me.
Yeah, Junji Ito, usually known for his monsters, but here he really shows off his writing chops.
Fair enough.
Because it's not really so much about seeing just scary, icky monster and ew, disgusting. It's really about just the characters, the panic, and society.
Yes. Okay. Galgei no Sekai yo Yokoso.
Yes, I'm actually surprised because I thought there would be another one here, but this is also really, really good. It's a reverse isekai story, you could say. It's about a guy who...
Then I reverse hate it.
Yes, which would mean that's your favorite thing ever. It's about a guy who receives a bit of software, a fancy plot device, and if the discs he put in after it will become reality, and he puts in his favorite dating sim. So all the characters from the dating sim enter his reality, and it kind of explores the consequences of that, his poorly considered consequences, because these characters begin to interact with the real world. A character who is sick is actually sick.
Yes.
And it really explores how that fantasy of his from, I'm gonna hang out with all my favorite waifus, gets kind of twisted and difficult for him, and what he needs to do to remedy that.
Yes. Okay.
It's nice. It's an unexpected great thing. I really didn't expect to like it as much as I did, so...
How many chapters does it have?
It's pretty short, actually. I'm gonna click it. 13.
Okay. That's worth reading for me then.
Yeah, you reached that in what's that? I mixed race and read. Because race. But Reese? What the fuck did I say? You'll race through that in a jiffy.
Yeah. Moving on. Shoujo. Yeah, you recommended me that too.
Yeah, another romance story about an AI that helps out at a school to make couples actually fall in love with each other. It's a bunch of short stories that do interact with each other. Characters that are helped in one storyline do still appear in the others. And it's just a bunch of really good, interesting romance stories. Okay. And I really like the framing device that is iShoujo.
Put down the beer. Put down the beer. No. No. You won't put down the beer. Well, I won't put down the Genever then.
There is iShoujo Plus. I've literally not been able to find it yet. So, consider that your quest.
My god, why? You mean the manga, I suppose?
iShoujo Plus. Please find it for me.
Okay. Give me like a few minutes after this.
I will give you bread.
Okay. Next on, Devilman G.
Yeah, we kind of had it on the show 2 episodes ago, I think.
I was about to say, there's not a lot to discuss there.
No, we literally went over all of that. Devilman Grimbor is probably the best take on the Devilman world thus far.
Can I say that since the beginning, since I'm looking at your list, now we're at characters, I can finally say this, I've been annoyed by your third pick because my mind instantly was like, what's Hero doing here? Wait, that's not Hero!
Wait, which hero is that?
Hero!
Hero. No! No!
I was looking at him and he was like, why would he kill me? It's brother from Cardcaptor.
I am not such...
Edge boy.
Oh, man. Oh, that would have been the meme lord pick for me, actually.
Fair. Okay.
That's the one. God, man. Goddamn Gundam Wing.
Okay, first off, we got Kanji Tatsumi.
Yeah. I played Persona 4, originally the game. S is a poorly kept secret. I am a not straight person. And seeing...
I'm wiggly woogly. I'm all over the place.
I'm wiggly woogly all over the place, boy.
Don't let me catch you slipping. I'll wiggly woogly my way in there too.
But seeing this character, seeing Kanji struggles is something I could really relate to because, well, he is very heavily implied to not be straight himself, and he struggles to kind of reconcile his girlier, feminine, and feeling side with his idea of what masculinity should look like. And
Yes.
those are struggles I could pretty much relate to, even though I am a chubby, weak...
Doughboy.
chubby,
I mean,
weakling.
you say that, but I'm a literal drum.
I do not have much masculinity to go around, but I could very much understand what he's going through, and that.
At this point, you're comfortable with who you are.
Yeah, and I do think that playing Persona 4 was certainly a contribution to that.
Yeah, I'm me. I turned 15 and I'm like, fuck everything. I know exactly who I am. But not everyone has it that easy, I suppose.
Big ball of battery.
Big ball of battery.
Yeah.
There's a lot of me. It'll
Yes.
go around. Yeah, one that I also really like. Yasuko Takasu.
Yeah, Yasu from Toradora. We already sang Toradora's praises just earlier, but Yasu is my favorite character from that series.
She's obviously still a young mother that still needs to emotionally develop. And she does throughout the show.
Yeah.
You see her as trying to be this grown-up that provides for her son. And by the end of the show, you can tell that she obviously wasn't ready for all that.
No, she is, pretty much that. She's dragged into motherhood very early on, abandoned by the father, but still very affectionate towards him.
Yep.
And kind of a lot of the show builds on that immaturity of her. She's kind of painted as comedic, irresponsible. But towards the end of the series, you really get to appreciate that she is a mother and she does know what she's doing and what she wants.
There are obviously struggles.
What she wants for her son.
There are struggles, but she obviously has... she knows what she wants. But she also shows it's really hard to get where she wants to go.
Yeah. And it kind of pokes fun at her in a lot of ways, but then you realize, oh, wait, this part that's meant to be fun, like, oh, she's always going out partying. No, that's her job.
Yes.
That's the only thing she can do.
She is how do you say this nicely? Service girl.
Yeah.
She is implied to be of the female service industry.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like how, there's just a reality she has to face and she has to roll with it.
And she faces that hard.
Yep.
I really appreciate a later scene where they're kind of confronted with that she has her own thoughts on how these kids should be behaving. When she actually takes charge, it catches people off guard.
Yep.
And she gets the best payoff towards the final episodes.
May it be clear that we both really like Toradora as we keep getting stuck on Toradora things. Okay.
I should read the visual novel at some point. I believe you gave
the
it to me.
PSP version.
Yeah, you gave it to me.
You have it. Toya Kinomoto.
Yep, Cardcaptor Sakura. Patrick probably has some thoughts on it himself, but I really respect...
He is literally the older brother you dream of.
Yeah, and...
He's literally the most dreamy motherfucker.
Yes, and I am myself an older brother, regrettably.
Regrettably.
For the both of us.
Hey, I'm very happy I'm not, because I'm already broken enough as it is. I couldn't imagine a younger brother.
Yeah, he is really caring and really cool, and I could appreciate how...
To the edgy degree, I might add. He is edgily caring. He is not the usual older brother, is a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, he does poke fun at his sister. He has a little play fighting and such, but when he has to come through, he always does come through hard.
Yep.
And I think that's a really good depiction of how brother-sister relationships go when you're not Battery and his sister.
Don't talk about my sister, man. She can hear you. Okay. Next. I hate her name already. Nuku Nuku.
Yes, Nuku Nuku from Nuku Nuku. Oh no, sorry, let me get that out correctly. All-purpose cultural cat girl Nuku Nuku.
God damn it.
No, Nuku Nuku is originally a little kitten. She is shot. She's shot in a chase when a criminal is on the run, and she's put in in a suit, which is an experimental robot suit, and thus brought to life as a person, the all-purpose good girl, cat girl. And it's a superhero story about how she integrates with his family and kind of tries to help them sort out their family problems, because it's a divorced family.
Yeah.
And it does so with shonen, a good shonen, light-hearted tone, with lots of explosions. It could have been made by Gainax effectively.
Okay.
But she is a very interesting and lovable character. So lovable, in fact, that they remade the series 3 times in the span of like 3 years.
Oh my. Well, going on to Goat Boy. I know he has a name, but I'll call him Goat Boy.
What can I say? Gojiro Sasahara from Nichio.
Yes, Goat Boy.
Another character that's really on it just for the sheer comedic potential. He is fucking
perfect.
He is absolutely perfect.
He's a farmer with a fucking Napoleon complex.
Absolutely.
He thinks he's Midas, but he sure as shit ain't. Sasuke Furuta.
Yes, Sasuke Furuta. He is from Yogamono. He's the main protagonist, and he starts out as this very, very minor itchy nose. As a very minor lord.
He starts out as an itchy nose.
As a minor lord under Oda Nobunaga, and he is obsessed with treasure, little tea treasures and collectibles.
Yes.
Kind of a mockery in Oda Nobunaga's court, but it follows his kind of rise and maturity as he begins taking his work seriously, as his his skills as an artist are beginning to become recognized, and he becomes a part of a new artistic movement developing in Japan.
Okay.
And he is such a good character. He's so expressive. His love, his passions really shine through. But also just his more human ties, his absolute devotion, love to his wife.
I just have to say that his picture almost make it look like someone dumped a pot of sake on his head.
It's a pineapple. They shoved a pineapple on his head.
I was about to say, because there's juice down his face and I'm not entirely sure.
What's that guy called again? Tokugawa? Ieyasu Tokugawa?
Yes.
He tries to impress Ieyasu Tokugawa at one point, and he has this fabulous meal with all kinds of exotic foods and all laid out in like carved out pineapples. And Tokugawa gets mad because he thinks soldiers should have modest foods, soldier's meal. So he flips everything off the table, puts the pineapple on his head, and just
leaves.
Mocks.
Yeah, that sounds like an asshole move that Tokugawa would do. That sounds very Tokugawa.
Yeah, that's kind of an example of how he grows as a person, because first he's just this minor lord who's just kind of playing around with his tea sets, but he soon becomes like a diplomatic center for.
He almost sounds like one of the Russian Tsars.
Oh god, I know what you mean. The little man boy.
The man boy with where the woman was just like, "Nah, I'm ruling this country. This motherfucker can't even walk."
Yeah, that was Catherine the Great.
Yeah,
I think it was Peter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was a kind of mockery.
Special note: Sasuke Furuta was actually a real person.
Yes, I know.
The story is actually based on his life story, slightly fictionalized in places, but very accurate to.
I was about to say, of course, it's fictionalized because not a lot accurate from back then. Shinobu Oshino.
You say the name wrong. Do the full name.
Nope. You'll have to do it yourself.
Kiss shot Acerola Orion hard underblade.
Yeah, I don't really like her character most of the time.
It is a bit deceptive because I like her mostly for her Kizumonogatari storyline.
Where she actually has impact.
Yeah, she gets a bit flanderized as the series goes on, but her initial story of her being this mighty vampiress and how she comes to relate to this human boy who saves her life is really interesting, and it's probably what makes Kizumonogatari my favorite part.
Yeah,
and from there it kind of stays strong.
It's kind of sad, because how later you get in the series, the less she is actually of importance.
Yeah, she has her peaks in Kizumonogatari. She has a few good moments in Bakemonogatari still, and then in second series,
And
There's the-
Owagimono.
That is the big payoff for her.
Yeah. Then we have Mayu Hachikuji.
Yeah.
Same show.
Same show, yeah. I think I don't have many shows that have 2 characters on there, but yeah.
Her payoff is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. She's, I kind of made the point. She has very strong comedic potential. She's kind of the joke character in the harem show that is Monogatari. Because she's just this little girl with a giant backpack. Her design is so solid.
It's just literally a grade schooler.
Yes.
She's just a grade schooler.
Oh man, and I felt so stupid when I first finally got the joke.
Oh yeah, that's
Her spirit animal is
snail.
Is a snail, and that's why she has the giant backpack.
Yeah.
And why she always falls over and shit. She's just, it's literally physically a snail.
That's also why she never really seems to go anywhere.
Oh, good point, Joe. Yeah, but her storylines are really good every time she comes up. Compared to Shinobu, who gets kind of like a background character who is always there but doesn't really have too much impact. Every time that Mayoi is relevant in a storyline, it's really important.
Yes. I really liked her. Moving on to Signum.
This is the face of a man who knows what to show this from. Hello, we're back to Lyrical Nanoha.
I seriously looked once at her and I'm like, yeah, this cannot be anything different than fucking Nanoha.
Yes. Signum.
So you said something about the character designs changing, eh? Well,
Yes.
fuck you.
Now, fuck you!
That was some power in that one.
Now, Signum is one of the knights that is summoned in Lyrical Nanoha Ace to help her new master. And she has kind of the leadership role over the knights. We're all younger than her, but that also means that she carries a lot of the emotional weight of the story, and she becomes a rival to Fate, and kind of begrudgingly so, because she has a lot of respect for Fate. But also just stays in a knightly honor that, well, as much as I appreciate you, if you get in our way, I will have to kill you to defend my master.
Moving on to Sailor Mass.
Oi, mind your fucking words there, mate.
No. What you gonna do?
I
Go wiggly woogly on me?
I tried to kick you, but I missed.
Good. I wouldn't have felt it either way.
I am not the biggest fan of Gundam, but Sailor Mass, I've seen Gundam The Origin and I've seen the original Gundam series. And Sailor is really one of the most interesting characters. She is the sister to the main rival, Char Aznable. And in Gundam The Origin, you really get to respect her character, because where you see in Gundam The Origin the story that precedes the original Gundam and how that shapes Char, and you really get the different perspectives. Everything that makes Char fiercer, angrier, and more of the ultimate soldier he would later become, all of those events also happen to Sailor, and you see how it shapes her in an entirely different and more emotional way.
Yeah, it's the non-mainline Gundam series almost always have an analog to her. Like 00 has what's her name? The chick that loses her arm. I'm a little bit at a loss for her.
I don't mind you that I didn't like 00.
Yeah, she's the one of the girls in that show, and she also wants nothing to do with the war. But after they fucked her shit up, she's kind of like, I'm gonna murder every little son of a bitch that's connected to this stupid conflict. So kind of sounds like that.
Yes. And
not in the same drastic way, but...
And in the actual Gundam series, she ends up joining White Base, and actually puts her militarily against her own brother.
Yes.
And it's really interesting to see how this psychotic warrior is still tied down by his sister.
I just want to say, next character, they done him dirty. They gave him the new fucking image. Keiichi Maebara.
Maebara-san.
Maebara-kun.
I got the pronoun wrong, didn't I? Is that a pronoun?
No, it's an honorific.
Honorific, I got the names wrong.
Keiichi Maebara-kun.
Yeah, Keiichi Maebara is the protagonist for Higurashi, and well, it kind of speaks for itself that one of my favorite shows, literally my highest rated show, probably also has the protagonist on the list of favorites.
Which is doubly interesting, because normally it's a visual novel, so the main character really is more of an analog of you, so you put yourself more on this list than this character.
Yes, but Maibara is really his own character in the visual novel. You don't really make choices in the visual novels. It's
fair enough.
It's just straight line, get fucked.
Get fucked.
But in the anime, I think they really extrapolated on him a lot, and it's interesting because you kind of assume him to be an audience fill-in, but as you go on, start to understand that he also has his own story.
Yeah.
And
he is one of the sensible characters.
Yeah, he ends up really being like your anchor in the Higurashi storyline. And
well, I would more say like an anchor to reality instead of the absolute ridiculousness that's happening in this village. I was about to ask, did you just get scared by your own beer? But you got booped in the nose.
I got booped in the nose. It's also gone.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing he's the outsider to Hinamizawa, and you get to see everything new through his eyes before it then delves into different perspectives where you see it from characters who have already lived there.
Fair enough. Moving on to Filionel El Di Saliun. At least I assume that's how it's said.
Yes, Saloon, the city that literally can't keep its name the same in any adaptation of Slayers, but yeah, he is effectively the king of the main city in Slayers, and he is fucking hilarious. He completely fucks me up. Just
could you say he's like from Avatar Boomy?
In a way, yes.
Yes, that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting from this image alone.
There's this one scene in one of the early episodes where they accidentally release like a well of spirits, and spirits begin haunting the entire city, causing ruckus. And then at one point it cuts to they will run past him, and he's just sitting in the streets with a bunch of these ghosts, just telling them stories. And at one point the ghosts realize, oh wait, we've got to fight. He grabs the ghosts, just physically. No, I was about to teach you the meaning of life.
Okay, that's beautiful.
And since then, I've loved the man so much.
Almighty! Or Toshinori Yagi.
Yeah, I think you can totally agree.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He is literally the embodiment for that anime.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is All Might from My Hero Academia, for those who aren't into shonen, sensible person that you are.
Fair enough.
But yeah, really interesting character for a superhero story, because you kind of, as you see the rise of Deku,
you see the fall off.
You see his fall. He's just literally declining as you watch him.
As you see Deku become inhuman, you see him become more human.
Yeah, but also just human, literally on the edge of his life.
Yes, but also his vulnerabilities, his actual opinions about stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. It really is just this superhero character who is slowly becoming vulnerable, and that is so fascinating.
Hibari Ozora.
And emotional.
Yeah.
Because he gets the best emotional payoffs. Every time you think he's done, like in season 1, you're almost certain, like, okay, this is it for him. Now Deku has to step up. Hell no, he still gets like the biggest...
The fucking season 2 finale!
Oh, and the season 3 finale. He stays relevant for so much longer, but you really know that he's doing all of this on borrowed time.
Yes. Moving on then to Hibari Ozora.
Yeah, that's really a LGBT icon.
I was about to say, I was really stupid. I was like, who the fuck is this? And then I was like, Hibari-kun.
It is Stop Hibari-kun.
Yes.
And the standard joke is the show is called Stop Hibari-kun, but nothing can stop Hibari-kun. Hibari Ozara is the only son to a mafia family, Yakuza family I should say, destined to inherit the business, but either cross-dresser or just straight transgender. It's a 60s show, so the language isn't as clear on that yet. But she tries to live life as a woman, and begins to catch the eye of a boy who moves in with the family after his mother dies, old lover of the mafia boss. And they become something of a couple. He is constantly hesitant, but also just slowly beginning to think that maybe this does work. But Hibari is really super confident, a real tough girl who stands up against all the bullying she endures and what people try to inflict on her. And I think that's really powerful for a 60s anime.
Fair.
Delving into LGBT topics way before those became mainstream as they are now. That's really powerful, and I still appreciate it for that to this day.
Yuma Kasuga.
Osaka.
Osaka.
Asmangadayo is hilarious, and Osaka is just the most endearing, lovable character in there.
Okay.
I don't think that needs too much explanation. We've already ranted about how much we love Asmanga.
Yep. Fuck you, I hate her name. Rosehip.
Why would you hate that?
Oh, come on! How not? This is a dumbass name.
No?
What do you mean, no? Argument, motherfucker!
All the British girls in Girls and Panzer are named after T's. And Rosehip is a character I vibe well with, because her thing is speed.
As in the drugs or the actual movement?
The velocity. She has a mother tank, no brakes, all speed, all the time. The only speed limits are in your heart.
Okay, fair enough. I'm pretty sure, since it's Girls in Panzer, that she doesn't have much more character to her than that, so... Moving on, Mika.
Mika is the Finnish commander for Girls in Panzer.
Fuck you. I like how you were just like, yeah, I don't have many shows but multiple characters on this list. And this is literally the second one. I see another two and I see another one.
Eat a dick.
No, you eat a dick.
Maybe I will.
Good. Enjoy it.
Fine. Mika, watch Girls in Panzer the film.
Please don't. Satoru Fujinuma.
Erased is fucking cool.
It is.
No, let's be serious for a moment. Erased is really interesting. It's the story of this guy who's completely living life on autopilot.
I think that this is the character that emotionally matures the most in the least amount of episodes.
Yeah. That's why I was so amazed, because I thought, well, I'm gonna like Erased. Erased seems so fucking cool, but it's probably really long. I should probably make time for it. But it's a really short series, and it does so much development, and it does so without rushing or skipping.
The pace is perfect. I don't think I have ever watched a show where the pace is so constant. It never feels like there's a dead moment. There never feels like they rush the shit out of things.
No.
It just does.
Yeah, it's very fascinating to watch him literally retry on his life, because Erased is about this guy who lives life on autopilot, who's doing a shitty dead-end job. And his relationship with everybody he ever knew has been soured because he's traumatized over the death of a girl. Kind of Hana-like, isn't it?
But he has superpowers.
He gets
incoherent superpowers because he doesn't choose when to use them. But whenever a tragedy around him strikes, he sees it before it happens, or rather, he sees it happen and he can go back and rectify it.
Yes, and when his mother is then killed, it sends him back to
fuck ton of time.
Yeah, like 1986, I believe, 1987?
Something along those lines, yes.
I believe it was like the last time the Olympics were in Japan.
Yeah, I believe so.
And he gets to retry not just saving his mother, but also just fixing the trauma that was inflicted on him in his childhood when his classmate died.
Yes.
Classmates, should specify.
Hikaru Shina.
Yeah, Figure 17, I just described it as being my Anohana, and now we've been talking about Erased and how it's like Anohana. This is getting a little bit redundant.
Yeah.
No, it's a really emotional series, and Hikaru Shina is the clone version of the main character, Tsubasa.
Of course she's called Wings. Sorry, had to. Yeah, not much to say, I think.
Besides that, I'm gonna click this phone call away.
Oh dear, he's getting called. Moving on to Ozu. Yeah, we've already discussed him too. Tatami Galaxy. He is the annoying, helpful, unhelpful friend that may or may not be God.
Yeah. Ozu is really...
I love him in the mystery.
You can't really discuss him in depth without spoiling huge chunks of Tatami Galaxy.
No, I just want to say that I like how much you know about him and yet how mysterious he stays throughout the show. Even by the end, then when you have when everything is in a row, when you know everything, he's still like, He's still that wild card that could go in any which way, actually.
Yeah, and it maintains that even in the OVAs, and probably going to be very interesting because I read the synopsis of the new season, and it really starts off with him breaking the AC in the middle of summer for the entire apartment complex.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So yeah, I look forward to what more lies in store, even if I'm a bit worried about the new season.
Fair. Makoto Kino.
Everybody has their favorite sailor, right?
Right.
What's your favorite?
I'm not telling.
Fuck you.
Mars.
Nice.
I like
Solid
Mars.
choice.
I mean, I can just choose from the first sailors because, I haven't watched the other seasons in a fuck ton of time.
No, I really like Makoto. Hopeless romantic, but just I really dig her character design. And
I just realized I might have a sister complex. Choosing Mars. Mars is an enormous bitch. Just like a certain other woman.
Hello, welcome to the Main Protagonist podcast where Petri discovers dormant fetishes.
Well, it ain't a fetish, but
in the same line, Makoto, tall, strong, independent, hopeless romantic. Perfect.
Moving
sailor.
on to Snufkin.
But I respect your choice for Mars,
I like Mars.
even if it's slightly concerning now.
Yes, now that I thought about it, why?
I think we can both agree on Snufkin.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's Moomin. We love Moomin. Moomin is amazing.
Fucking love Moomins. Snufkin is really cool. It's
he is the anchor of the group, pretty much.
Yeah, and the frank writing of Moomins really shines through in him.
Yes, Moomin don't give a shit. Let's that be clear.
Yes, but he's an adventurer, and he's happy to have people come along. He's nice, he's friendly, he's helpful, but he does have his limits when people start getting quite.
He has a social battery.
Yes, and it just fucks off once a year, or not even once a year, for like half a year to just vibe on his own. I can totally
Vagabond.
get that. Yeah, he's a character who really sticks by his own ideals, and I kind of like that.
Moving on to Mirio Togata, your second character from a second series.
That would make third, you absolute... Wait,
Buffoon?
One.
Actually counting!
It would make 3, you fucktard.
Well, then you have another 2. Mr. Vermilion, what was his hero name?
Lemillion.
Lemillion.
Yeah, he becomes kind of a counterpart to Deku in My Hero Academia in one of the later seasons.
As in, he is super gifted physically, but he has a shitty ass power, but he makes the best of what he got.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a difficult power. Like, what's it even? He can face himself through objects.
But he loses all sense of where he is, what he is. He has nothing, and he can't face it unless he knows he is without matter. Problem is, he has to make that judgment entirely on its own, without any senses to rely on. So yeah, very, very limiting power. Also a very fun one.
It's a very interesting one to think about, and
to
see in action. Oh yeah, that'll also definitely help. He's also just he's also a comedic character, really the emotional core of season 4. And it's interesting to see just how he becomes kind of a partner to Deku.
Yes.
An unexpected partner too, because you're kind of assuming the Bakugo Deku combi.
Oh god, no. I never expected them to really combine, honestly. He doesn't have the Vegeta vibes. He doesn't want to be good. Bakugo just goes when he goes. And there ain't no stopping him. And if he does what he does, well, good luck. Bye. Have a nice day. If someone from that group would team up with him, I would say... I always forget his name. Parted hair, dude. Fucked up face. You know who I mean.
Yeah, I do, but...
Fire and Ice, man.
Oh, man. I'm not caught up with the new season yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's from the first season, so...
Yeah, I know that he's there, but I haven't had the refresher in a while. I'm kind of tuned out of Hero Academia right now.
If someone would team up with him, I would guess that would be him, because Bakugo and they just fall out of each other. They don't mesh, and they know, but they are still this kind of obligation because they know each other.
Yeah.
That's more what they represent. So yeah, and Lemillion just really gets
Relation by obligation.
Yes, and Lemillion gets inserted into the series really nicely.
Yeah, much more smoothly.
Yes.
A lot of all two of his classmates are also really cool. The little team they form.
Yes. Can we combine Oscar van Ruytentaal and Paul van Oberstein?
Yes.
Because they're the same show.
It's really difficult to kind of discuss these characters without delving into spoilers. They're both brilliant strategians for the Empire. And especially Paul is interesting. Oberstein is very... I think you would be able to respect him really well because he's very tuned out emotionally. He does what needs to be done to steer the Empire to victory. He will lie to people. He will betray people. He will...
Spit in your drink.
Just not give information. He's very secretive like that, and you're constantly kind of worrying, like, what are his real goals? Is he really doing this just for the Empire? What's his end game?
Precisely.
I really like that in him, and Oscar is just a straight, strong, brilliant commander who kind of really gels poorly with Oberstein. Like, all the commanders are really bad with him.
I'm going to just interrupt because we still need two things, so two categories, and we're pretty high up on time already.
All right. No. Here, Let's Look Like the Heroes is just this brilliant series, and these characters are just two of the finest.
Very nice for the circumstances they are given.
Yeah, and especially Oberstein is fascinating just throughout the entire series.
Moving on to staff. Masakazu Katsura.
Yeah, fortunately this is a lot fewer. Masakazu Katsura is really... he is a brilliant artist who's really kept the 90s vibe going. Even in his anime today, he made DNA 2, Video Girl I. A lot of these these series that have really striking character designs that immediately grab your attention, like, oh, this looks like cool sci-fi.
Okay. Yukari Tamura. Speaks for itself.
Yeah, literally my favorite. My favorite voice actress, Lyrical Nanoa, Higurashi. She is Rika. She does so many of the most lovable main characters in some of my favorite series. Inevitable that she turns up.
Katsuhiro Otomo also entirely speaks for itself.
Yeah, nobody is gonna contest you on Katsuhiro Otomo.
Oh, Kiyohiko Azuma.
Yep, writer behind Yotsuba and Azumanga Daioh, literally in his name.
Yep.
Yeah, just a fantastic comedy writer. I've checked out some of his other stuff, and a lot of his series are just straight good comedy. Even at its fucking weakest, it's still hilarious. He just keeps churning them out, and I'm amazed. And his drawings are so expressive. Yotsuba is just so fun because all the expressive characters.
His style lies in simplicity.
In a way, yes.
It's the how simplistic he draws makes it stand out more. But not in a bad way. There's just not a lot of shading and such to most of what he does. Moving on to Kulkyo Shinja.
Oh, just mentioned him earlier when we were talking about Furamapura. He's the author behind a lot of good comedy series, including Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid, and I can't understand what my husband is saying. Just a fantastic jokester in terms of comedy. He has a good sense of what's fun, a really strange sense for storytelling and character designs. Like, all his stories have such weird concepts and hilarious characters, and I'm just constantly amazed by what he turns out.
Mayumi Shintani.
A bit of a smaller voice actress, but one that you're very familiar with. She features in a lot of Gainax stuff. No Non in Kill la Kill. She was the scientist in Promare.
Yeah.
I really like that voice. You know, she has this very raspy voice, which just instantly makes her recognizable in anything she stars in.
Fair enough.
And it's such a unique sound that I'm just... every time I see it, I'm like, yeah!
Susumu Hirasawa.
Have you listened to this man's music?
Moving on then. Masaomi Ando. Also kind of speaks for itself.
Masaomi Ando, do you know him?
I am aware of him.
He made Scum's Wish.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm aware of this man.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you just immediately accepted it, actually, without...
Oh, yes, his family name, Ando, at least his
really
given name.
recognizable.
Andor, I was like, I know this man.
Yeah. He is a very interesting director and very new talent, and he's doing such fantastic work with his series. That includes Scum's Wish, which has some of the best directing work I've seen in a while.
I'll die if I'll fucking die on the hill to fight anybody who says Scum Wish is bad.
I'm kind of at a loss for what the other show was called. Oh, yeah, that's it. Hakame to Mikachi kind of takes that skillful directing and applies it to a fantasy slice of life, and it just works wonders. I've seen this man tackle a few genres now, and I look forward to everything else he's gonna do.
Koichi Mashimo.
Koichi Mashimo. Ah, yes, that's the founder of B-Train. We can kind of skip B-Train when we get to it in the studios list.
Yes.
Koichi Mashimo was a very experimental director. He's retired now. Who really wanted to foster talent, kind of like what Kyoto Animation is doing these days. And just B-Train was just his fucking child project. It was a fantastic studio that tackled a lot of interesting series. Metabots, the Girls with Guns trilogy, which is Mad Max, Noir, and El Cazador. Lots of things that you wouldn't see in other anime studios tackle. Lots of original work. I just really respect the man for being this fresh air.
I can't argue with that. I've seen some of his anime, and I generally like everything he puts out, so... Kira Vincent Davis! Well, kinda speaks for itself too, I think.
Lucy from Elfenlied, another voice actress that has a voice that just instantly grabs me whenever I hear it. Don't see much of her these days, but also because I not always turning into dubs anymore. It's kind of a 50-50 these days.
Yes.
But I really look forward to hearing more of her.
Okay. Go Nagai.
Devilman, Cutie Honey.
Not love to say.
Violent Jack. This man has made so many series, and he has been so influential in advancing anime, making it more open to more violent, sexy series. He's done a lot for the medium, and he continues to work to this day. It's kind of admirable to see this motherfucker who is still writing his fucking giant robot stories. He's still making Mazinger.
Okay,
Just constantly making new spin-offs and stuff. He's done so much. He can have fun and just make his robot stories for all eternity.
Fair
I'm
enough.
Happy with him.
Moving on to the last category, studios.
Yep.
And we've already gone over B-Train for mostly. And you have only one other on there, and that is Shaft.
What can I say? I love artsy anime, and Shaft is the most prolific studio pushing for artsy visuals.
Still pushing for artsy visuals. Because I'd like to make an argument for Triangle.
Yeah.
But they are long gone.
Yeah, ever since Le Portrait de Petit Cosette, it has been just one amazing looking show after the other with Shaft.
Fair.
I applaud that. That's really amazing.
Okay, well, that took a whopping almost 2 hours.
This is why I'm happy that we didn't tack it on to the episode last time.
No, dear God, no. Although I didn't argue with a whole lot, because, well, most things I haven't watched, and I can't argue with everything, since most things that I have, which I recognize, I also like, so...
Or you straight up agree, because...
Most of it is pretty nice. I mean, kind of the same with me, when we did my list.
Yeah. Absolutely. So. That's when we also ran into Toradora and...
Fair enough. But, yeah, this would be the first bonus episode of
one of
MPP.
Probably many. Some of which may be 2 hours. Some of which may not.
May not. We will have some other specials. And I hope you look forward to our next episode.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day and goodbye.